Been in since 2020, now go check it out, look at the roster, build a armada. I wanna shake all their hands, get those watch parties ready to pop off. Man, it's an honor, looking like tiki masala, the way they be cooking up all the Solana sauce. If you like keeping up, you can come hear about it at the call. Need a seat break point, gonna get a ticket and I'm gonna make some ape noise. In the purple eco when we stay full, projects full of hype, yeah, I'll wait like an encore. Shock 'em every time like a taser, blowing all the minds, that's some builder behavior. 65k TPS, only raised with the best, ain't nobody that we wait for. Oh, apps on pro that we got the best around. W's on W's, dropping W's, it's getting loud. Won't hold back, reload at the speed of the sound. Whole squad, hold it down. TVO will make you proud. Super team is in the house. I'm making music, you just shout. I'm rocking out with my doubt. You ain't even know how. Did anybody think that we would never have a moment that would make you wow? We got hella builders in the coat and rust, but looking nice and super shiny now. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana, been in since 2020, now go check it out, look at the roster, build a armada. I wanna shake all their hands, get those watch parties ready to pop off. Man, it's an honor, looking like tiki masala, the way they be cooking up all the Solana sauce. If you like keeping up, you can come hear about it at the call. Need a seat break point, gonna get a ticket and I'm gonna make some ape noise. In the purple eco when we stay full, projects full of hype, yeah, I'll wait like an encore. Shock 'em every time like a taser, blowing all the minds, that's some builder behavior. 65k TPS, only raised with the best, ain't nobody that we wait for. Oh, apps on pro that we got the best around. W's on W's, dropping W's, it's getting loud. Won't hold back, reload at the speed of the sound. Whole squad, hold it down. TVO will make you proud. Super team is in the house. I'm making music, you just shout. I'm rocking out with my doubt. You ain't even know how. Did anybody think that we would never have a moment that would make you wow? We got hella builders in the coat and rust, but looking nice and super shiny now. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana, been in since 2020, now go check it out, look at the roster, build a armada. I wanna shake all their hands, get those watch parties ready to pop off. Man, it's an honor, looking like tiki masala, the way they be cooking up all the Solana sauce. If you like keeping up, you can come hear about it at the call. Need a seat break point, gonna get a ticket and I'm gonna make some ape noise. In the purple eco when we stay full, projects full of hype, yeah, I'll wait like an encore. Shock 'em every time like a taser, blowing all the minds, that's some builder behavior. 65k TPS, only raised with the best, ain't nobody that we wait for. Oh, apps on pro that we got the best around. W's on W's, dropping W's, it's getting loud. Won't hold back, reload at the speed of the sound. Whole squad, hold it down. TVO will make you proud. Super team is in the house. I'm making music, you just shout. I'm rocking out with my doubt. You ain't even know how. Did anybody think that we would never have a moment that would make you wow? We got hella builders in the coat and rust, but looking nice and super shiny now. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana. Shout out Solana, been in since 2020, now go check it out, look at the roster, build a armada. I wanna shake all their hands, get those watch parties ready to pop off. Man, it's an honor, looking like tiki masala, the way they be cooking up all the Solana sauce. If you like keeping up, you can come hear about it at the call. Need a seat break point, gonna get a ticket and I'm gonna make some ape noise. In the purple eco when we stay full, projects full of hype, yeah, I'll wait like an encore. Shock 'em every time like a taser, blowing all the minds, that's some builder behavior. 65k TPS, only raised with the best, ain't nobody that we wait for. Oh, apps on pro that we got the best around. W's on W's, dropping W's, it's getting loud. Won't hold back, reload at the speed of the sound. Whole squad, hold it down. TVO will make you proud. Super team is in the house. I'm making music, you just shout. I'm rocking out with my doubt. You ain't even know how. Did anybody think that we would never have a moment that would make you wow? We got hella builders in the coat and rust, but looking nice and super shiny now.
Well. Look who's back. What's going on, everybody? Hello. Welcome to this ecosystem call, the first one in I don't even know how many months. It is a pleasure to be back with you all. I have missed you all very deeply. Please, just a warm-up. As a warm-up, a preliminary W. Drop a little W in the chat just so we can get excited here, folks. I am on a somewhat janky tech setup, so if things fall apart, I apologize in advance, but we're going to try to do our best to roll with the punches. The music is too loud, I'm being told by in the group. But we got all the homies here. Jones and Fierce. Oh my goodness, they're flying in too fast. I can't even keep up with Danny and Rahim and Man of Steel and Stefan and Leaf and everybody else as well. Goodness gracious, it's good to be back. I'm feeling like Christian Bale, feeling nice and smooth. Obviously, the last ecosystem call was back in December. Since then, a lot has happened. A lot of great things have happened across the Solana ecosystem. And I was talking to the homie John Wong. Spoiler alert, he's going to be on the call in a little bit. And we were thinking about how we could get some people amped up before Accelerate, which is this conference that's coming up pretty soon. We said, what's better than an ecosystem call? Not just about Accelerate, but about everything that's been going around in the ecosystem. So we are going to get going on that in just a second. Super high TPS, some would say. I don't know, is my shit really slow right now? Hopefully not. I'm also going to warn you, I'm pretty goddamn excited. I might swear a little bit. All right. This is an R-rated ecosystem call. In the past, I've tried to be a good boy. Tonight, no good boy. Put your fucking kids to bed. R-rated only. Let's get into it. We have a lot of stuff to cover. If you're here for the first time, you have to know one thing, though. The secret to this call is, in fact, the chat. Thank you to Srijani, who made this Nightmare Fuel meme of me. That is just fantastic to see. The chat is the only thing that makes this work. You can already see people from the shipyard and everywhere beyond that joining in and making it fun. There's going to be a few giveaways that are going to happen here as well, so you're going to want to have access to the chat throughout. That is my promise to you. So here's what I would recommend. If you are watching in real life, and by the way, we have 50 live watch parties all around the world on basically like 1 week's notice. Pretty incredible. So shout out. I think there's like 20 of them in India. There's a bunch in Nigeria. I know the Berlin build station is there. I know they're watching on a beach in Vietnam right now, in the UK at the build station, in Canada, and everywhere in between. The Solana community coming back together for a little old-fashioned fun here. If you are watching live, do me a favor, scan this QR code right now so that you can jump into the chat as well and participate. You're not going to miss it. And indeed, there's going to be some giveaway stuff. So don't be mad at me later if you don't join right now. That's what I would have to say on that. I'll give people 2-3 seconds to get into there. Sorry, I just got a glimpse of Eno, who's also going to be going up in a little bit backstage, and he's making me giggle here. What's going on, Eugenio? I see my guy Eugene is here, Kitty, and so many other. I can't even name all the people that are here, but it's a pleasure to see everybody. If you are watching on Twitter right now, hello. And yes, I'm going to call it Twitter till the day I die. I'm very sorry, Elon, but that's just the way it is. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure that you click into the stream so that you can also participate in the chat and be able to get there. Shout out to Juicebox, everybody. Wow, the chat is on fire today. This is what I love to see. Good stuff coming through. What do we have going on today? Well, rather than tell you the agenda, why don't we play a little video and I can just show you the agenda. Let's go. Feel like I should flow. Like I should flow. Like I should feel like like I should. Feel like I should go to the ecosystem call to get amped up. If it is your first time here, let me just tell you what we're trying to do. The whole point of this call is to celebrate all the good stuff that's happening across the Solana ecosystem in the last month. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. So I'm going to tell you right now, this call is probably going to be longer than an hour. So, buckle up for that. You've been warned right away at the very beginning. We're going to go through all of the people and the products that make the Solana ecosystem so great. This is not a place that we're going to talk about token price. We're not looking at any charts on this call. We're looking at the fundamentals. And the hope is that you leave this call feeling even more bullish on the fundamentals, which are, of course, the people and the projects that compose Solana. That is the game plan for today. As you saw, we have the jam-packed agenda. Wins of the month coming up. John Wong, the GOAT, coming in from the Solana Foundation. Definitely not financial advice, where I'm going to talk about the internet capital markets thesis in a little bit more detail, because I think you've probably seen that on Twitter and everywhere else. And then we have Solana is Global with the homie Eno. We are so early, where we have, and I swear this is true, more than $100,000 worth of giveaways. Emphasis on the worth. But you're definitely going to want to stick around for that. A few of those products I use literally every single day. And then the thing that I am most excited about and also most nervous about is, in fact, the Solana Anonymous Founders Survey. 101 Solana founders participated in the survey. And there's some spicy things that, quite honestly, I'm a little bit nervous about, and I kind of regret doing this. But it should be fun and interesting to you guys, is my very sincere hope. And then we'll have the closing POAP, best in the biz, coming in after that. Whoa. Oh, I'd forgotten. The production quality of the call is so good, it surprises even me sometimes. Let's get ready for wins of the month. Now, if you have a keyboard in front of you, this is where you want to put your index finger, top row, directly above the W, because a lot of W's are going to have to be dropped. I'm looking at the chat. It's so fast, I can't even do it. Shout out to Dr. Rebel and my favorite stripy shirt. Indeed, I only really own 3 shirts, and this is one of them. But my fashion choices aside, let's talk about all the good stuff happening on Solana. So 10 big wins that have happened in the past month, starting right now. The first one, it is all-time high season across the board on Solana, especially with Solana DeFi. I'm old enough to remember when they said Solana DeFi was dead. Not the case any longer. Now we have DeFi TVL, 7.8 billion, the highest it's ever been, up 105% year on year, which is incredible. You look at the DEX volumes, I mean, they're just staggeringly big. 107 billion last month, up 100% year on year. 107 billion. TVL, very important, but volume, I think we can all agree, just as important, if not even more so, because it shows actual usage, not just things that are sitting in stock. Both are important, but that one I think is really critical. And a big shout out to my homies over at Camino, Thomas, Marius, and the rest of the gang. Record deposits and borrows, 20 million sold over there. So Solana DeFi is crushing. I see the W's in the chat came before I even asked for them. And I do want to give a special shout out on this one. One of my favorite people to follow for data stuff anywhere on chain is Dan Jablonski from the Syndica team. He's awesome. Definitely recommend following him, and you'll be able to get a bunch of this kind of stuff going yourselves. The W's are flowing so fast, I think we are actually going to break StreamYard. It does not seem like we can actually show them on the screen too fast enough. Don Wong is so handsome, that is correct. Win number 2, Solana DPIN remains undefeated. Speaking of all-time highs, we're seeing amazing things happen, not just on the trading side, but on some of the usage side, right? DPIN, decentralized physical infrastructure networks, a major theme from Solana maybe 6 months ago. Now some of the heat or some of the chatter on Twitter maybe has died down, but the heat has not died down at all. In fact, everything is up and to the right. Solana is the #1 chain for DePIN, $3.5 billion worth of market cap for tokenized projects. But it's not just about that. It's about the fact that people can actually earn here. So in the DePIN kind of class of category of projects, earning $120,000 a week right now, which is what we love to see. And we're seeing 240,000 nodes participating in DePIN activities on chain. Now notice this is only those that have a token. So there's a number of them out there like Stargazer that have like more than 1 million users, but they just don't have a token yet, so they're not represented. So this dramatically undercounts it. And a major shout out to the homies over at Super Team India, who hosted the first ever DePIN Summit in India as well, to kind of bring the space together. DePIN, you maybe don't hear about it as much on Twitter. You're hearing about it now because it's one of the things that drives real value for real people in the real world. Shout out to Super Team India. I was advised not to say Jai Hind, so I'm not going to write a log. DeFi doing great. DePIN doing great. You know what else is doing? Anybody with a business on that. I think it's like on whatever other ecosystem, not naming names, you can launch a Ponzi token and maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down, maybe you make some money, maybe you don't. On Solana, this is where you come if you want to build a real sustainable business. And we're seeing this happen across the board. Solana dApps captured 57% of all dApp revenue across all crypto ecosystems. And there's a lot of them. It's $207 million earned by Solana teams in April. Cutting app right out. It's too good. Video rugged, but I'm seeing some comments that my video is rugging. Is that true? No? Hopefully I'm all right. Whew. People are getting me scared over here. There we go. Businesses on Solana are a big deal. And here's my favorite part. I love to see a good business make some money. But, some connection issues, Cash, I'm being told. Hold on, everybody. Pause. Am I back? Stable now. All right. Sorry, I genuinely think that we're like overwhelming some kind of server somewhere. We're already past 5,000 live viewers right now, and that number is climbing up very quickly and dramatically. All good. I will beatbox a little bit later, Juicebox. Yeah, it's us. We're so excited. Yeah, YouTube and Twitter cannot handle this much action across the different things. And shout out, we're also streaming this to Twitch, by the way. Shout out to the single person. We have one Twitch viewer. Shout out to you. You know who you are. I think YouTube is running on Ethereum. Amazing. Anyway, back to business over here. If the YouTube is not working for you, Bork, you can try over on Twitter. Apologies for some of the tech kind of stuff. One of the two will certainly work, is my hope here. But yes, as Power said in the chat, we're not DJs anymore. We are businessmen. The suits are coming out soon. But the coolest thing about this stat, and I think a really important one, back in the day, Microsoft used to talk about the definition of a platform is something where the apps that are built on top of it end up earning even more than the base layer. That is really what growing the pie is all about. And that is what Solana is doing. So businesses on top of Solana earned more than 2.5x what Solana itself as a network earned. And not Solana itself as a network earned a bunch of money. That's great. But we really love to see this. And hopefully we're going to see more and more of this. This is not the kind of thing that you see in other ecosystems, folks. I can probably see that. And shout out to Solana businesses, says Jones, and many other folks. You know who's noticed this? It's not just me. It's not just you. TradFi has noticed this. And contrary to popular belief, TradFi does now have a soul, or at least they're starting to get one. What we are seeing is an incredible trend over the last month or so, where a bunch of these publicly listed companies are effectively playing the MicroStrategies playbook, where they say, hey, we want to be a public company and we want to be able to get a bunch of SOL on the balance sheet, and investors are going to be able to do it. Spaceman Dev says no suits, no impressors. Yeah. A lot of folks want to get access to SOL. Maybe they don't want to go on chain. They don't want to use centralized exchanges. Maybe they're institutional funds, so they have regulatory requirements there. And now there's offerings for them aplenty. SOL Strategies has a $500 million credit facility to accumulate SOL. Apexi has a $100 million credit facility. We saw Janover rebrand as DeFi, what do they call it? DeFi development, excuse me, with another massive credit facility. All of these are on the same place. The flows are coming, folks. That's what I'm trying to say. And again, this is not about the price. This is just about the appreciation, the credibility, and the kind of future flows where we're expanding the pie beyond just, you and me, community members that have been here for years. This is how we start to grow. This is how we start to welcome the next generation on. And I will tell you this, we're seeing a lot of ETFs and ETPs. There are now 7 live across the world right now, just between Canada and Europe, possibly some more in APAC. And so what is very clear, TradFi likes Solana more than anybody else. I think we can probably say that. That is, Sol is indeed on Robinhood, but we don't care, somebody said. That's right. So TradFi is over here. TradFi is one piece. The other major piece, of course, is policy. So another major win that happened is the Solana Policy Institute was launched. So big shout out to Miller, Kristen, Rachel, and Colin, who are pushing this forward, a nonprofit entirely focused on advocating for decentralized technologies, obviously in particular Solana, and helping lawmakers understand. There are a surprising number of lawmakers who are actually pretty open-minded right now. We're going to talk about this with John Wong in just a little bit. But the Solana Policy Institute, I'm super excited about it, to have a consolidated voice that's out there talking to the killers. I almost feel like a team of killers over there. If we're interested in policy, interested in the future of how these things integrate traditional finance and the traditional world in general, this is the place to keep an eye on. Next ecosystem call, we need Cash to sing karaoke. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Let me point to the camera over there. Network is lagging again. Rugged. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that. Boys, do we have an Ethernet cable that I could plug into by any chance? No Ethernet cable. All right. Well, we'll keep going over here then. Hopefully it works. Cash speaking English again. I think that the YouTube might be better than the Twitter is possible on that side. It lags and comes back, says Pedro. My apologies on that, folks. In any case, we're going to keep going anyway. They can't hold us down. None of these folks hold us down. Good Wi-Fi, bad Wi-Fi, any Wi-Fi. Win number 6. It's a bit of my catchphrase at this point, honestly. Stake your goddamn soul. Helios is trolling me in the chat. Is that what's happening right now? Helios is saying, try increasing bandwidth, noob. This is the level that I've got to. My goodness. Increase bandwidth, reduce latency is what we need to do. Increase the priority fees, yes. Anyway, if you can still hear me, the people are staking their soul in abundance. We love to... We love to see this. Liquid staking TVL up 100% year on year, almost at 42 million SOL, which is great. And the state of staking is getting even better. A SIMD has come out, SIMD 0123, which enables validators to directly delegate or distribute block rewards to delegators. Before they could do this, but it's kind of a manual process based a little bit on trust. Shout out to Sanctum, who's at 10 million SOL in TVL on this one. But I think it's going to just kind of further streamline and make it easier and more credible for people to stake their SOL. It's good for you. You get some yield. It's good for the network. It increases security. It can be good for apps because they can better land transactions. Definitely encourage people to actually go out there and stake their goddamn SOL. All right, let's keep going here. Frankendancer is in production. One of the cool things about a few of these now that, between the SOL staking thing and now this, and there's going to be one other one afterwards, you can feel the network continuing to get better. When you look at other ecosystems, a lot of the times they're kind of static, very hard for them to move forward and improve, right? If Solana continuously gets better and at a rapid pace, that's the thing that I really love about this ecosystem, right? So Frankendancer is now live in production. It's just past 6% of total stake is now on validators that are running Frankendancer. I'm very proud to say that the largest validator that's doing this is the Jupiter validator. Shout out to our guy Italo, who just made that happen earlier today with JupeSol. But already 6%, and that number is going to continue to grow. I encourage you to try to stake 2 validators that are more likely to use Frankendancer and kind of help push the network forward as well. FireDancer itself is coming later this year. Frankendancer is a hybrid between the existing validator client called Agave and the new one called FireDancer. Has a bunch of benefits and have the testing ground to make sure that this works even more later on. Shout out Tommy Pickles in the chat. So that is a big one that I'm really excited about. Win number 8, we got 3 more to go. Win number 8, Solana is home for on-chain payments. This is one that's very warm to my heart. Shout out to Mar, an old buddy of mine, and everyone else who's been doing some great work on this here as well. Solana stablecoin supply is now at all-time highs in April. We hit 12 billion. I actually think it might be above 13 billion now, by the way, because the number just keeps going up and up and up. The market share for global stablecoin supply has also grown. It's actually doubled. Still have a ways to go. It's early days, but stablecoins are a nice way to look at how much kind of trust there is for the ecosystem, what kind of flows are coming on, and obviously they're a great store of value on chain, and so it hopefully creates more and more opportunities coming up. This is part of the reason that you're seeing a bunch of other cool stablecoin things happening on Solana. Big shout out to Fuse, the wallet from Squad, so you can now spend stablecoins, send them to your bank account. You're seeing this with Stripe just enabled a stablecoin offering, allowing you to hold stablecoins in your Stripe account in 100 different countries, and many, many others. So we're just seeing massive improvements there. I have said this is half a joke, so don't quote me on this, but blockchains really have product market fit in 3 categories. That's in payments, in profits, and in Ponzi's. Now, we don't like the Ponzi, so we're not going to talk too much about that. The profits, the trading, the speculation, that's a different thing. But payments, I think Solana is going to end up being number 1, and it's quickly getting better and better on that side, which is a core use case for crypto going forward, which we love to see. Last 2 things to say. You ain't seen nothing yet, says our guy Kay in the chat. Last 2 things to say. The first one here, this is another one that just warms my heart. I spent a lot of time on this thing called Super Team. Drop a little W if you're a Super Team fan in the chat, if you're a Super Team member in the chat. What we're seeing is that Solana is increasingly becoming the chain of choice for builders. Builders create the value for users, and all of that kind of flows back to everyone else who's a stakeholder in the ecosystem. And the builders, they like Solana. These are smart. The builders are getting smarter, I think, is part of it. A few proof points on this. Than ever, according to Alliance, is one of the highest sellers out there. That's my guy, consumer product genius. It's like great one and know where things are going. Then we can look at the Coliseum hackathon that's going on right now, the global hackathon. Is it lagging coming back? Sorry, I keep getting so sad that the thing is lagging again. What do I do about this? That is the key question. Internet rugging. There's no better crypto UX. Someone please put this stream on the Solana network. Make everyone shut off Wi-Fi in the room. Yeah, can we do that? Can all other people shut off Wi-Fi? They're all already off the Wi-Fi, it seems, in this room. Close the background apps, switch to a staked connection. Let me try to see. Folks, give me a quick pause here as I try to do exactly this. I don't know how much it's going to help. This is a 5G network, so it should be already at the top of the quality charts. Let's quit this. I'll quit this. Sorry, folks. We're doing this live. As I told you, it was going to be a little bit of a crazy experience here. Hopefully this helps. Is this better? Let's find out. Just ring it. What is it, 137? Yeah, it seems like the Wi-Fi is actually good here. So this does seem to be a Twitter problem. Yeah, where's 00? Austin, if you are watching this, please hurry the F up. It's only when you're doing your best work that it lags. Yeah, that's right when I get excited about it. The Wi-Fi here is great, folks. It's like at 150 megabits up right now. So I'm not sure what the hell is going on. I can only believe that this is Twitter and YouTube's fault. That we're at 8,000 live concurrent viewers right now. So clearly things might be breaking a little bit. Apologies to everybody, especially those of you watching live. In any case, it could be StreamYard itself that's going on. Anyway, I got to go back to it because we had too much stuff to cover. I can't complain about the internet this whole time. So let me say this. Solana, chain of choice. We're seeing the Coliseum Global Hackathon is going on right now. It ends next week. It's not too late to get started. You absolutely can still get started here. 9,000 participants in that hackathon. Solana Global Hackathons, always the biggest, always the best. Shout out to Coliseum and all the homies over there. We're seeing a bunch of other projects coming onto Solana. Some really high quality projects that have been around for a long time. I'm talking about Matcha. I'm talking about M0, 1inch. They're all now supporting Solana. And we're seeing great minds come to Solana as well. Shout out to my guy, Nikita Beer. I had a really nice conversation with him recently. Justin Waldron from Open Game Protocol also is great. Really talented folks are choosing Solana as the chain of choice. Here's why that's so bullish. Right? If the builders are creating the value, you want to follow the smartest builders, and then you're going to be able to kind of get a sense of what the future is going to look like. Huge deal for everybody. And finally, the last win of the week. Drop a little W, please. Give my internet some speed, or maybe we should stop dropping W's. I wonder if it's the chat that's actually messing things up. I don't know. In any case, the last thing, and this is the win that's closest to my heart. I'm just going to be full on biased right now. No apologies for it. It is what it is. Super Team has just been absolutely crushing it since I left. This is the definition of a strong community, where a particular community leader can leave, but the community gets even stronger over time because, and say it with me now, decentralization is not the absence of leaders, it is the abundance of them. And that's what we got over at Super Team across all the country leads and individual community leaders that are there doing incredible work. Just since I left in January, 1,600 events have been hosted globally, both IRL and virtually, by Super Team. $3.14 million has been earned by Super Team members in opportunities created by other Super Team members. We're getting a full kind of circular economy happening within Super Team, folks. And finally, nearly $24 million has been raised in just the last few months by Super Team members. That doesn't even include the new Super Teams that are coming up between the pop-ups and the officials, Nepal, Indonesia, Ireland, Pakistan, happening all over the world. All the existings. I know if you are watching this right now and you are a Super Team member, know that you are on the inside and you are doing great work. Where Solana Ecosystem is lucky to have you. Big shout out to the Super Team leads and members who have carried on the torch and are doing even bigger and better things than I ever could have when I was over there. Love to see it. Whew. Oh my goodness. All right. I am out of breath after this. Super Team earnings go burr. That's right. Let me take a little sip of water here. Can confirm Super Team is a cheat code. That's absolutely right. Shout out to Super Team UK, Cap, my guy over there, Cap and Arch, the rest of the team. Super Team BR making a comeback. Ellie, the event ninja, also the best. It must be the volume of the W's. I genuinely think that it was. The problem was too many comments all at once. I think that we were messing up the software, which is pretty wild, if you ask me. I told you to use the W responsibly. Shout out Scarlett. The bus test came in. That's right. I think the Super Team has passed the bus test, and that is for sure. Okay, let us keep on going where we want. But he's one of my favorite people. Even when things are kind of going sideways, his ability to communicate so clearly and intently, and his focus on the long-term future of the ecosystem. What I need from everybody right now is a little GM in the chat for our guy, Mr. John Wong, everybody. Where's John? He's hiding.
Hey, everyone. GM.
There you are, John. John calling live from a dungeon in Siberia. How you doing, John?
I am doing great. I do want to take a quick moment of everyone needs to spend a moment, appreciate Cash for pulling this out of his wazoo to bring us the ecosystem call once again. W's in the chat for our man Cash.
Appreciate it, John. I am realizing that I do actually think that it is the chat that is messing up the stream, because anytime there's a bunch of W's or GMs, it starts lagging and slowing down. So everybody, chill out on the W's. Chill out on that. I've never seen this happen before. It's the first time for everything, I suppose. John, you're here to talk about Accelerate. This is your brainchild, your baby. Tell the people, what is the Accelerate conference and who is it for?
Absolutely. I'm so excited about this. They named me the CEO of this conference, and I said, absolutely not. And yet here I am running a massive conference, 3,000 people here in New York City. That's happening next week. What we wanted to do is actually reflect a couple of things. So first off, Accelerate is 2 conferences. You got Scale or Die, Monday and Tuesday. And then you have Ship or Die, which is Thursday and Friday. So it's a full week's worth of stuff. But why did we want to do this? We wanted to capture a really important time in history. There's a lot of renewed energy around crypto here in the United States. There's so many builders that were already here that can suddenly feel just so much optimism around the things that they can build and the people that they're being surrounded by. So there's been a ton of that. We wanted to capture that with an event, which obviously Ellie and the folks know how to do incredibly well. So this is Accelerate. It's not Breakpoint. Breakpoint is the World's Expo of Solana. It has its place in making sure that the entire community comes together. This is unique, and this is an opportunity. We'll talk about some of the speakers later, but some of these things could only happen here in the US. So that's why it's Accelerate. That's why it's here in New York City.
I absolutely cannot wait. I'll be going and speaking there along with all of my
He's pausing, so I'm going to fill in for Cash. Hello, everyone. My name is Cash Donda. Okay, there he is. He's back.
I'm back. Increased bandwidth, reduced latency is a fact over here. Cash free frame. Hopefully, I looked okay as I did it. I was asking you. You mentioned Ellie. What all have you given to her at this point? Is it flowers? Have you bought her a new car, a new house? What does the Ellie compensation plan look like?
I bought her at least 4 islands somewhere in Greece. I can't say which ones they are. She'll have to guess, but 4 of them are hers.
She can just go island hopping until she figures it out. So, I looked at the agenda, and other people should check out the agenda. There's like U.S. senators, congressmen, people, massive people from TradFi. A lot of them are coming on. Which talks are you most excited for? What does the content kind of side of this look like?
Yeah, actually, I'm here to drop a little bit of alpha. We've been holding on publishing the agenda for quite a bit. We were trying to iron out some last details, and approximately 15 minutes before the stream actually aired, we launched the entire agenda for the public to see. And we did it in a unique way. We actually published every single talk on this agenda on Luma. So if you check out lu.ma/Solana-accelerate, you will see every single of our 120 talks, 2 days, 2 stages. You can keep track of all your side events and your tickets and all of your talks all in one place on Luma on your phone. You can register to individual talks. And I'm telling you right now, I'm front running the Solana main handle. This has not been publicized yet. But if you go check that out, you can actually, I wanted to save something special for you all. So you can see all of the talks. I'm especially excited for Policy Day. We have about 8 talks across both days. And as you already alluded to, we've been able to capture a unique set of folks and speakers that I don't think we'd be able to do in other places. So we actually have we have 3 U.S. senators, Bill Hagerty, Rick Scott, Kirsten Gillibrand. We have a couple of representatives, French Hill, Richie Torres, local, as well as CFTC, former CFTC, and plenty of other folks that are talking about the most important things in U.S. politics.
Incredible. And these senators and these congressmen, they go to every crypto conference, right? Like they're at NFT NYC.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're extreme degens. They're not busy at all. And I think what's interesting is that right now we're seeing a lot of like really important policy getting passed or not passed and being discussed. And I think it's a unique opportunity to capture that. And I think the other part of it being in New York City, not just for the policy stuff, but obviously this is tech, finance, and policy, is capturing Wall Street and capturing the institutional finance crowd. where because it's in New York City, they can pop in for a section and get introduced to the Solana ecosystem. Because while I absolutely love the tech, it's a great technology, all that sort of stuff, the ecosystem is why people stay. And that's the thing that people have maybe never seen in person because they couldn't go to Lisbon or Amsterdam or Singapore. And so I'm hoping that the Solana Bear Hug really grabs, really, changes people's minds about what's being built in the ecosystem, showing them that there's something real behind everything here.
Incredible. I think it's going to be the kind of mashup that I don't think we've seen anywhere else. Like this level of expertise and influence kind of in one room. So like not just the ideas that are being shared, but the actual action that can be taken after them is entirely unique. Like this is going to be like a hothouse of activity and action, which I think is going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah. As an organizer, I think, obviously I my day job is to run an engineering team, but one of the things that I've done over the years, I've done plenty of public speaking. I've attended plenty of conferences. I wanted to make this for myself. I wanted to capture the like, hey, how do you have a section of talks that all informs on a specific topic? How do you make sure that you have those opportunities to connect with some of the most influential leaders? And I don't think that means sitting in the audience for 45 minutes while someone drones on about their project. So things are a little bit shorter. We have, everything's tuned for digital. So if you can't join us in person, you'll be able to join us on the live stream. But through all these things, I talk to every single one of these speakers. Like I've had 120 plus calls where I chat with them about the vision of what I want. And the aspiration is that someone saunters in because they've done something on chain, but don't really know about Solana itself. And they show up, they learn something new, they quit their job, and they join the rest of us in building the future of everything on chain.
Absolutely. I think that there's going to be so many interesting connections that are made, so many like interesting things that come out of it. But I know for some folks, it can be, a little bit intimidating to come to a conference, especially a conference like this, where there's a lot of heavy hitters in the room. Maybe to like inspire some people to like, if they're on the fence about maybe I come, maybe I don't come, just as a personal story, like what is the best thing that's ever happened to you at a conference?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I have such an affinity towards conferences, when I was an aspiring engineer, I was still in college, I got a free ticket to a conference. It was the Python conference, and I got it from the person who founded Docker. So people may know what Docker is, and I guarantee you, this changed my life. This opened my eyes to everything that was possible in software engineering. I almost dropped out of school because of it. I think that this conference was so important. I don't even remember what I learned there. I don't remember who I saw. I don't even remember where this conference was. But I remember the feeling of knowing that I had agency around the things that I could build. That fundamentally changed it. Honestly, if I didn't get that, I don't think we would be on this call here together, like honestly. So, I think you can never discount the serendipity of going to an event and bumping shoulders with people and just learning stuff by accident. That's the best way to learn. And I think that's what conferences are great at.
I love that. I think that it's so true that people talk about like getting lucky a lot of the time and without really appreciating that like a big part of getting lucky is putting yourselves in positions where luck can affect you, right? If you are just sitting in your basement all day, you're not going to be able to make it happen. But at a conference with thousands of some of the most influential, smartest, biggest builders and the up and coming builders as well, that's where good stuff is going to happen. And I think, if that doesn't convince you to come to Accelerate, I don't know what will, quite honestly. The content is going to be crazy. The talks are short to the point. I think the keynote, like my keynote's 15 minutes, I think is like the maximum size for a lot of these.
That is the longest talk.
I got to tell you, this is going to be amazing. If you are on the fence, you have to absolutely come. A lot of people are going to be there. It's going to be a blast. My last question for you, John, for people who are coming into New York City, like me, I'll be flying in from Dubai. What is the most underrated thing to do in New York if I'm there for a few extra days?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, the nice thing is that we know that there was a lot of people coming in to enjoy everything from playoff basketball to watching Broadway and all that sort of stuff. So we have a ton of things in the actual city that's outside of the venue. We're calling it the Solana Cultural Zone, and this is led by our friend Dr. Revel. And there's there's galleries, there's activations at places like Boba Guys. You can go to the Solana Spaces pop-up that's right by the office. You can go to Skyline and work out of there. And then if you want to go to watch them play out basketball, grab a ticket on xp.tickets and make it easy. Use crypto everywhere. We also have some secrets that we will be revealing this week and next on more ways that you can spend your crypto here in New York City. And if you want to learn more, I'm doing a 1-hour deep dive into everything accelerates for Solana across America at 5 p.m. Eastern, where I'll be bringing on our Big Daddy Raj to talk a little bit about America. So if you need more information and you want to learn a little bit more about what else is happening at Accelerate, that's the best time to tune in.
Fantastic. Big shout out to Dr. Revel indeed for all the good work she and the rest of the community are doing over New York. John, thank you as well. I know for anyone who's watching this, conference is not easy. It is all consuming. It'll put gray hairs on your head. There's no doubt about it. But you're doing the Lord's work and kind of bringing the community together and hopefully going to propel us all forward and we can accelerate even faster. Thanks, John.
I do this for all of us. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone next week.
Should be a lot of fun, buddy. I'll catch you very soon, man. Normally, at this point of the call, I would ask everyone to put a little W in the chat for John, but I am genuinely concerned that is breaking. We're now past 10,000 live viewers, and I'm very worried that that's going to break things. So please, no W's in the chat. Just kind of tap your head or something like that. I guess I don't know. Anyway, here, as John was talking about, just a few of the speakers that are going to be there. Super State, Figure Markets. It's interesting. A lot of kind of folks that are not necessarily on Solana yet are going to be there. I wonder why they're coming. I don't know. Maybe you can put it together yourself. Okay, here's the key question. Is my internet better now? Because I'm about to do an important monologue. And I need to know that this is actually going to stay with me for a little bit. So, folks, can you drop people are dropping no W instead. Can you drop a little yes if things are not lagging? Maybe like just a few people. Okay, everyone's doing it. Fuck, it's going to start lagging again. Your internet is on Solana. I wish if it was, I would not be having this problem right now. All right. Well, in this next section, what I want to do, we're going to hear from Eno in just a bit. We're going to get to the giveaways in just a bit. We're going to hear about the anonymous Solana founder survey in just a little bit. But before we do, I want to do a little section called Definitely Not Financial Advice. And the point of this section is to help kind of articulate something that maybe you've seen in some different places and provide some mental programming that allows you to think about the future of the Solana network in a meaningful term. If I am successful in this section, by the end of it, you're going to feel even more bullish on where we're going and on the vision and approach that the teams are making. If I'm unsuccessful, you will be bored for about 4 minutes. So, it's a pretty good ROI. Like you sit there for 4 minutes, but maybe your worldview on Solana is going to change or improve. So let's see how it goes here. And I really do hope that I don't lag as I go through this. No W's doing that. So definitely not financial advice. I am also going to name some projects in here. None of this is meant to be financial advice. Quite honestly, if you trade based on anything that I say, you deserve to lose your money. I'm a terrible trader. Do not copy trade me. You will lose money. Okay. The thing I wanted to talk about today are internet capital markets. If you've heard this term before on Twitter, drop a little manlet or something in the chat so that I know how many people are actually seen this here. The internet capital markets thesis is really starting to get a lot of traction. Big shout out to my guy, and hopefully your guy as well, Akshay BD, along with Kal Samani, Jeremy Lair, and many others who've helped kind of popularize this term and made it like a rallying cry for the ecosystem. It is in many ways, I think, the future of where Solana is going. It kind of represents the growth of Solana. But first, we got to figure out what the heck is it, right? So really, there's two things you need to understand about internet capital markets. The first thing is, what is a capital market? It is a market, much like Airbnb is a market, right? In an Airbnb as a marketplace, you have some people who have properties and you have people who want to rent properties, right? And the function of the market is to bring those people together, find clearing prices, facilitate the transfer of value, et cetera, et cetera. Similarly, a capital market is basically just a market for money. There are some people who want money. They're starting companies. They need to fund debt. They have ideas or memes or movements that they want to kind of fund. And there's people who have money on the other side. So capital market just brings those together. So anytime you see the capital market, just think of it, it's a market for money. And the second thing you need to know is that traditional capital markets, not great. I mean, they're pretty good. They got us to where we are now, right? Trillions and trillions in value, which is awesome. But they have a bunch of problems. And the analogy that I would use here to make this a little bit more clear is to think about like an old school record store, right? Like if you bought music back in the day, and some of you are probably too young to even know that you used to have to go to a store to buy music. But the idea was like, okay, if I live close enough, I can go to the store. If I live an hour away from the city, I guess I'm not listening to any new music. That sucks. So access was a problem. They're only open during business hours, 9 to 5. So if you want to buy new music or listen to new music out of that, you're kind of out of luck. When you get there, it's pretty expensive, right? Because there's a lot of overhead. They got to pay the cashier. They got to pay this guy, the next guy, and so on. Just not a great experience overall. Markets are to traditional capital markets what like Spotify is to the traditional record store, right? Spotify has access to all songs everywhere. It's much cheaper for the price of one CD. You get access to all the CDs in the world, and it allows everybody to kind of participate in this kind of music ecosystem. Similarly, internet capital markets do the same thing. They allow everybody around the world free access on an even playing field to participate in what we call the capital formation process. So what does that actually mean? Well, it's got a few kind of key concrete benefits, right? If you have a world where there's a single market where everything can go, the matching money capital market, he said, where all this kind of liquidity can flow, a bunch of cool things happen. So the first is for asset issuers. And now here we're talking about like companies or who need to fundraise, ideas or movements who need to like attract capital so they can start to continue to grow. You might think of teams that need like credit offerings and stuff like that. In internet capital markets, they make it's easier for those companies to go quote unquote public and reach investors all around the world. The access again is a very big thing, right? For investors, the opportunity is pretty obvious, right? All of a sudden, the guy who's in Nagpur has the exact same kind of access to investment opportunities as the guy who's in Colombia, as the guy in Norway, and as the guy in Australia. Everyone has this kind of equal playing field where you have many more options, which hopefully should lead to a more kind of efficient market because there's more people, there's more wisdom of the crowd, so to speak, that's being injected into it. For institutions, the rails behind these internet capital markets dramatically improve a lot of things about their operations from custody to settlement times and beyond, which helps them reduce costs and increase their own margins. So it's actually much to the contrary, where this is going to kill TradFi or something like that. It's actually going to help supercharge TradFi. And finally, for the world, the benefit of these internet capital markets is that we're going to be able to bridge the gap between opportunity and talent. As the famous saying goes, opportunity or talent is evenly distributed, but opportunity is not. With internet capital markets, money can find the people who need it to build interesting, great things that push humanity forward anywhere they are, no matter where they are. And I think that's a massive unlock for the world, right? Be talking better with his hands right now. So the next thing to understand about internet capital markets is that tokens are the kind of native instruments. They are kind of like the DNA of it in some fashions. And we're seeing tons of incredibly exciting experiments in this dimension on Solana. So I want to shout out Believe. Obviously today they've had a particularly crazy day. But Believe is basically like a Kickstarter for ideas and projects. With a single tweet, you can start to raise funds for whatever you want to build. In just their first week, they did $200 million in volume. And just today, I think they've had a ton who have gone up past, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. There's some real runners on there right now. And there's a lot of cool projects and founders that are doing it who have built real companies in the past and are trying to, what we'd call, again, the capital formation process to further their idea. To launch with them, to launch in traditional capital markets, what do you have to do? Go talk to Goldman Sachs, go get the regulator, file 1,000 pages of paperwork, hire a few legal firms, how to do this, figure out distribution, et cetera, et cetera. What do you have to do with internet capital markets? Launch a tweet, tag at launchacoin, plus the name of your token, you're good to go. Yes, internet capital manlets, Prado said as well. This is being powered in part by Meteora's DBC, which is the Dynamic Bonding Curve program, which is a set of contracts that anybody can use to launch a launchpad. So Believe is a great launchpad for new tokens and ideas. But what we're seeing on Solana right now is the infrastructure to be able to launch a multiplicity of launchpads that might have different geographic focuses, different mechanics, and so on is also happening here. So you're seeing like the pace of experimentation going up exponentially. Here's another example, letsbonk.fun, another launchpad that launched fairly recently from the Bonk team. Shout out to Noam and the rest of the boys and girls there. 2.5 thousand tokens launched within $300 million in volume in 24 hours. Crazy. We're seeing a dramatic thirst for this kind of new forms of capital formation that are happening on chain, right? Not all of these are going to last forever. As I've tweeted recently, tokens are content on the financial internet. They're not all meant to be freestanding buildings that will last until the end of time. But Let's Bonk is showing new ways where creators can get rewarded and new ways where new ideas can find an audience that wants to support them faster, right? And that is being supported by Radium's Launch Lab, right? Again, the Radium Launch Lab help in the same kind of mold of Meteora DBC, helping other launchpads grow. Their Launchpad has also been crushing it. Let me just say that. You can actually go and launch tokens on Launchpad. 60,000 plus tokens have already been launched over there. It's pretty wild. What you want to see in any thriving ecosystem is a diversity of options and many shots on goal. That's why I want to highlight all 4 of these projects. Because the internet capital markets, unlike traditional capital markets, is not going to be a one-size-fits-all solution. It is going to be a constellation of tons and tons of different options. There's others that are not even listed. There's many others. I didn't have space on the slide for it. The second to last thing I would say on the internet capital markets, what you're also seeing is not just crypto native mechanisms, right? Like launchpads like Believe, Let's Bonk, LaunchLab, etc. Right? You're also seeing TradFi coming in. And I've got this idea that I want to try to start to meet, right? Where it's not DeFi versus TradFi, right? It's DeFi plus TradFi. It is unified. That is the future of finance, is unified finance, where you can move between traditional and new rails seamlessly. And we're seeing a bunch of people do really interesting projects in this direction. Securitize has come on. They make it very easy to securitize your assets, to tokenize your assets. They handle BUIDL, which is BlackRock's treasury instrument, which is, I think, already got $3 billion in TVL. Superstate, very excited about these guys. They just made the announcement recently. They're going to be at Accelerate. They allow companies to issue SEC registered security or shares on chain. This is not tokenized equity. These are actual shares that are on chain, which is pretty incredible. Stripe, of course, has rolled out stablecoin access all around the world, which is going to supercharge this. Libra Capital and Hamilton Lane have launched private credit funds. These are all the types of things that were limited by the access and who can actually use them. And that is no longer the case. Drop a little W in the chat if you are excited, because let me tell you this as a fact. This is happening on Solana more so than anywhere else. I could have made this could have been a 60-minute call just about this internet capital markets thesis, but it is going to be the future of Solana, in my humble opinion. It is going to be a massive catalyst for growth, not more than just a few seconds, right? I got confused by the chat. Not just, a 1x, 2x. This is where the 10, 100, 1000x will come from, as we're able to merge TradFi and DeFi into UniFi. That's the idea. However, it's not risk-free. There are many obstacles, but there's one obstacle that's kind of present right now, which is around MEV and sandwich attacks. As more activity moves on chain, MEV becomes more of a potential issue. For those of you who don't know, MEV is maximum extractable value. Basically, validators or block producers can accept or sequence transactions in a block, and the order ends up mattering, right? Because if you and I both want to buy cash tokens, and I buy 1 million cash tokens right before you buy 100 cash tokens, your price is going to be way worse. The price will be way higher because I just did a $1 million buy. So MEV is how you kind of sequence and include or not include orders in order to affect prices here. This is a problem. I don't want this to just be like a bull call where it's just all good news all the time. The truth is, it's going to be a bumpy road. It's not going to be an easy journey. And MEV right now is one of those things where Sandwich.me, an awesome website, talks about sandwich attacks, shows that $4.3 million in MEV has been done with 105,000 victims just in the last 30 days. And this is really being done by a very small number of people, 104 folks. Trading bots are actually the ones being targeted. So if you're using trading bots, oftentimes they'll set slippage very high, so 20%. And then the MEV and sandwich attacks will just eat up that whole 20%, is basically what happens, right? But even though this is an issue, there are great teams that are working on the solution. And that's, again, what I want to highlight, because even though there's an obstacle, we're seeing the ecosystem come together. And there's two teams that I think are really doing a lot. I mean, there's many teams that are doing a lot. One is Triton. Shout out to my guy, Brian. He's one of the best in the game. I've known him for a long time. They're releasing Shield, which is a whitelist for RPCs to use to block malicious validators, right? Validators are executing a lot of MEV. This is going to reduce the flow to places where MEV can happen, and I think is a net good for the ecosystem. And then a special shout out here for my guys over at Jito. This one I might take a little extra time on, so just be patient with me. But good guy Jito, and I don't think they get enough credit for how much they do here. Last year, they turned off their public mempool, which is where a lot of these kind of MEV sandwich attacks were kind of taking place. It cost them millions of dollars in future. Did it anyway to improve the state of MEV on Solana. That's a decision made for the betterment of the ecosystem, which I think is really cool. And now they're doing something else. They're now enabling the blocking of front running in their bundles product, which is more technical than I'll get into here. But the bottom line is that's another place where they might actually be reducing their own economic incentive for the betterment of the ecosystem. And frankly, as a closing note, that is what I love so much about Solana, is we're filled with teams who are actually here to kind of grow the ecosystem. Obviously, Jupiter, which is where I work, focuses on this a lot. But it's not just Jupiter, it's Jito, it's Triton, it's Helios, it's many, many other teams that are out there pushing this forward all in the same way. And I think that's awesome. Hopefully that all got there. Yeah, I see Sohail saying Paladin is also working on this. Shout out to the guys over at Temporal. They're also working on this. There's a lot of great teams that are pushing forward on this to make things better. And yeah, too many W's in the chat is all I can see right now. So we are already very delayed. I am trying to scroll through the chat to even see everything. Oh my God, this has to be a record. Well, I guess when you have 15,000 people watching live, that's kind of what happens here. Love to everybody, but hopefully you enjoyed this segment. Definitely not financial advice. Internet capital markets, now you know what they are. Hopefully that can inspire you. If you're a builder, assume that this is the future. What is this future going to need that you can build? If you are a user, try to work with teams that you know are pushing things forward in the right direction. And if you have cousins or whatever else in TradFi, bring them on over. Bring them to the next ecosystem call. Should be good. All right. W to the chat. Hopefully people like that section. Next up, we got one of my favorite people in the ecosystem. I know I say that about John, but it's true. I have a lot of favorites. What can I say? I am a bit of a slut. That's that. Anyway, I feel like I probably shouldn't have made that joke. We're going to go to right now. Solana is global with our global correspondent, Mr. Eno. Eno, how are you doing, my boy?
Hey, Cash, you'll never guess where I'm at. Where do you think I'm at? But I'll give you a hint. It starts with a C, it ends with an A, and also they got great maple syrup. Not as good as soju, but still pretty good stuff, I heard. So, let's give it a little try.
Oh, all right.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Next call, I think we got to do maple syrup shots as a new thing. So
maple syrup shots?
Every time, anytime that Eno curses or does a big smile, take a maple syrup shot.
Woo!
Anyway, Eno,
right.
You're over at Super Deep Canada, and you are here to talk about how global Solana is. So tell the people all about Solana's global. Well, first tell the people about yourself in case they don't know. Shame on them if they don't, but tell them about yourself.
Yeah, sure.
And then we can jump into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi, everyone. My name's Eno. I've been building on Solana for the last 2.5 years. And during that time, I've been traveling all around the world, going to as many Solana events as humanly possible. In fact, this year alone, I've gone to 14 countries and boarded 40 flights. I'm very tired of traveling, but I do it for the ecosystem. I do it to volunteer, to host conferences, to mentor teams, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm super glad to talk about like all the amazing things that are happening in Solana over the next. Oh, we just lost Cash. But I'm super excited to talk about all the amazing developments in the Solana world. These are events that you can go to. My life was changed when I went to my first hacker house in Singapore of 2022. And when I met builders there, I fell in love with Solana and I never turned back. So I'm just so excited to hopefully give you guys a little bit of insight into some of the events that you can go to so that you can change your lives as well. Cash, you ready for this business?
Let's do it, buddy. Let's go. That's a great.
All right. This is going to be a little bit of a rapid fire, so I think you're going to have to get your finger right on the next arrow. But first, we have to, of course, start in the city of Toronto. I am obviously in Canada for Startup Village. They've been running it since May 1st. It's going to be going all the way to May 16th. And the reason why they're doing Startup Village is because all of the builders here are laser focused on getting ready to submit their hackathon submissions into Coliseum's Breakout Hackathon. Of course, if you're building for Breakout Hackathon, that is going to be concluding on May 16th. You have like 3 more days for your submissions. So I really urge you to hurry up and get the submissions already. But, I know that there are some people out there in the ecosystem that don't really like Canada. But I myself actually lived in Mississauga for an entire year, right? And so what I can say with extreme confidence is that I love the culture, I love the people, I love lake life. There's so many lake activities to do around here. So if you're not here for this year's Toronto Startup Village, I really urge you next year, we'll see you here. Sound good?
For sure. I can't wait to get out there. Shout out to Super Deep Canada, Simon, Fib, and the rest of the team.
Yeah. And that's not all. Of course, we have a whole bunch of side events over Accelerate New York. Some of the best side events you've ever seen. And we're going to go over some of the best ones. We're going to start with number 1, Drift DeFi Day. It is going to be on next. It's going to be on May 21st, which is a Wednesday. It's going to be an all-day affair from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Next. Gotta press the next button. And then go to the next slide.
Are you saying next slide?
Yeah. Next slide. Just next slide. It's all good.
Oh,
Yeah. Cool. Hey! No. So Drift DeFi Day is it's going to be an amazing day on Wednesday, a full day affair, and it's going to be all your top protocols as well as policy experts and folks that are like institutions. They're putting them all into a single room. And Cash, the power of bringing all these people into a single room. It really does literally accelerate the ecosystem. So there's a QR code there if you want to attend Drift DeFi Day. They are oversubscribed, but you might still get in. Please scan, and that is your opportunity to get into Drift DeFi Day. But at the end of all this DeFi talk, you spend all day talking with these folks. You want to relax a little bit, right? So like after Drift DeFi Day, we have a very, very exciting event actually done by our friends over at Jupiter. It is Jupiter Exchange's very first community event in the United States. Cash, are you ready for this shit? It's gonna, oh, whoops, I wasn't supposed to. That's exactly what I was thinking. And so, before I got into crypto, before I got into Solana, I was a very heavy golfer. I miss golf a lot. This is going to be a full evening of mini golf. I am going to be teaming up with the Jupiter Uplink boys, which includes Will and OG, and we're going to be kicking your butts over at Putt Putt. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You can also scan that QR code. It's for everybody. Everyone is welcome. Cadets, people who are curious about the Jupiter ecosystem and all the things that you can do there. It's an amazing opportunity to meet not only the Jupiter team, but also the Jupiter community. And then moving on, so some of you may or may not know, you can probably tell from my lapel here, I am the Chief Vibes Officer over at Sanctum, Clouds Float Higher, and we have a very exclusive curated event. It's capped to only 100 people. We call it Inner Sanctum. Inner Sanctum is for two different types of audiences. One, it's for builders who are trying to get liquidity, deep liquidity, right? And the second, it's for allocators of all types. We're talking about liquid funds. We're talking about VCs. We're talking about institutions, the type of people who need to go back to the office and tell their boss that they did their jobs when they at Accelerate. So what we're doing is we're bringing those two people together into a very small exclusive event called Inner Sanctum. It's going to be at the Delancey on Thursday evening. You can scan that QR code if you are in the allocator game or if you're a protocol that's looking for liquidity. We have a pitch night, so you're welcome to come join. It's going to be a very, very fun time. And so we hope to see you there. Join the Inner Sanctum. And then we're going to travel all the way across the Atlantic from America all the way to Asia. So moving on to the next slide very soon. We have, I've been very, very fortunate over the last few years to be in contact and working with some OG Hacker House attendees, folks that have just been in the ecosystem for years and years and years, helping to volunteer. That includes Kay from Venta, as well as An, who's the lead of kind of Asia, Super Team Asia, and was previously the lead of Super Team Vietnam. Of course, Ben, formerly of Jupiter, now at Meteora, and myself. We've all been working together to put on Solana Summit. So this is actually the second anniversary, second edition of Solana Summit. Last year, we did it in Kuala Lumpur over in Malaysia. If you are in the APAC region and you are not coming to Solana Summit in Da Nang, Vietnam, what are you doing? What in the absolute heck are you doing? Get your butt all the way to Da Nang. Da Nang is one of my favorite cities in the world. Actually, it's not one of my favorite cities. It is literally my favorite city. I've said this over and over and over again on the timeline. The reason why I love it, amazing beaches, amazing food, great people, amazing cost of living as well. Vietnam is the alpha. And of course, moving on, we have Super Team France, who is throwing on something called Builder's Mansion. Now, this photo does not do it justice because it is a literal mansion. Cash, you've seen the photos of this mansion, right? It's absolutely insane.
Insane. Arthur's out of his mind, dude.
Yeah, Arthur is the lead of Super Team kind of Europe region, but also, of course, Super Team France. And he bought this mansion and renovated this mansion. And this is such a Chad baller move. He is making that mansion available to you, the Solana ecosystem. All you have to do is go to the Builder's Mansion Luma. There are 3 different cohorts. Each one is 1 week apiece. And if you get approved to come to Builder's Mansion, yes, you have to pay for your flight ticket to go to Paris, but the whole week is free. Your accommodation is free. The food is free. And you get to connect with builders. And Cash, I mean, that's some of the best ways to network in the ecosystem, right? Is like to co-live, co-work.
Especially these like intensive times where it's just like hours and hours together. Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Yeah, those completely changed my life. And for Berlin Blockchain Week, special shout out to Patty, who is the lead of Super Team Germany, as well as Carlo. What's up, my brother? I am personally going to be going to BBW, Berlin Blockchain Week. And anybody who's familiar with Super Team lore knows that the Super Team Germany builders are first class. They build some of the best products and they're very, very technical. So I'm really looking forward. I've never been to Germany before, so that'll be country number 15 this year. But I'm really looking forward to meeting the builders over in Germany and wie geht's, my friends. So, and last but not least, this isn't last. No, all right. And this is all Europe, right? So this all culminates into Solana Apex in Budapest, which is in Hungary, right? So yeah, I only talked about let's say Builders Mansion in Paris, as well as Berlin Blockchain Week in Germany. There's actually a whole bunch of events that are going on in Europe. So if you are in Europe, please check with your local super team. I almost guarantee if you're in Ireland, if you're in Poland, if you're in the UK, there are all kinds of events that you can go to in your local area. And once you get already at those local build stations and startup villages, it goes all the way into Startup Apex Budapest. So what do you know about Solana Apex Budapest, Cash?
I know that it's going to be a banger. I know that Ellie has worked very hard on it. That's about it.
If Ellie, if you're on this stream, we love you. And if it wasn't for you, Solana wouldn't be where it is today. I'm just going to kiss a little butt because she's amazing. But yeah, Solana Apex Budapest is the alpha. Yes. And we hope to see you there. And of course, we cannot forget this next event. The newest pope, if I'm not mistaken, is from the great city of Chicago. And so if you want to be and go to the city, in the name of the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Yeah. There's Mountain DAO, but then there's Onion DAO, and everybody loves Chicago. They have some of the best food culture, very quirky, funny people. There's a co-working pop-up. It's going on for an entire year from month from June 16th to July 11th. And there's going to be all sorts of activities. They also, much like Toronto, have a really, really thriving lake life scene. And I grew up next to the water, so this seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, if you cannot,
Spaceman Dev, who's putting that all together.
Is it Spaceman Dev that's doing it?
It is indeed.
Okay, man. Well, hey, Spaceman Dev, thank you very much for
in many ways
on Onion
the blue-haired Pope of Solana.
Okay, moving on very quickly. And look, there might be people in the audience who are like, okay, this is all great, but traveling for me is a little difficult, and I don't really know how to participate in the Solana ecosystem, but I do want to make connections with people and just like get deeper and deeper and deeper, right? So what are their options? Well, option number one. What you can do is apply to the Solana incubator. They're currently accepting applications for their third cohort. Fun fact, Sanctum was actually a graduate of cohort number 1 of Solana Incubator. And since then, we've grown from 0 million soul staked to literally 10 million soul staked in just a single year. So good things and great things can happen with the full might of the Solana Labs team just pushing behind you, right? I mean, you've heard amazing things about the Solana Incubator program as well. We have royalty that have graduated from the program.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I know Iman and the Labs team do a really nice job with it. A really intensive, kind of like high quality program. It's not easy. Like, you got to be serious about building like a real company for you to kind of enjoy it. It's not a vacation time, I promise you that. But if you are serious about building a company, I think it's probably one of the best things that you could possibly do. Direct access to so many important people within Solana. The network is incredible. The speaker list is incredible. Definitely do not miss that.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure about this cohort, but for previous cohorts, they provided a little bit of a stipend for living support as well as flying out to New York. So again, like if you are a serious builder and you're building something that you feel like just needs just a little bit of a push, apply. And if you get in, then should help a lot on the financial side, especially if it's a little tight for you. And last but not least, this is the last event, and it's not quite an event, but it is an event in the sense that it's going on from now until July 7th. You have about 6 weeks left. It's the Greed Academy, obviously put on by our friends over at the Greed Experiment, which includes Voshi. Voshi, of course, released this social experiment to show how greedy people can be and some of the things they'll do to get the money that they want. And of course, Daniel is running a lot of the operations for Greed Academy as well. There are 6 more weeks to participate. It is an educational program to teach you how to use protocols on Solana safely, and it includes $120,000, in terms of a prize pool that you can earn, but you first have to go through the education first. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that is a lot. Voshi is another one of those guys. Going back to my earlier point about how many teams are out there just like making the ecosystem better, even if it's not like in any way like a personal profit motive. I think Voshi and Greed is one of them where their only goal is just to help bring more people on chain and do it in a way that's safe.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Cash. I tried to speed through that as fast as possible. I talked, I think, at 1,000,000 miles a minute. Before I go, I just want to say, I know that my wife is watching this stream. Honey, thank you so much for watching. Happy 3rd anniversary. I love you. Okay, that's it, guys. Love you, Solana. Love you,
Go get
Cash.
some flowers, It's time for you to go get some flowers. A little bit belated, but shout out to Eno. Shout out to Eno's wife. Shout out to everybody who's going to all these events all around the world. You'll be able to meet people like Eno and many others. Me and Eno met, I believe, at a live event at some point along the way. So best thing that you can do. Solana is global all over the world. We got something for you. Eno, thanks so much for coming on, buddy.
All right, take it easy.
All right, folks. Well, we are late, but here's the good news. I got 2 more segments for you. We have one that's all about giveaways called We Are So Early, and then we got another, which is the results of the first ever anonymous Solana founder survey. I'm going to try to go quick. Shout out to Eno, by the way. Eno's great. The chat loves Eno. I love Eno. He's the best. People should definitely follow him, and he's going to be doing some exciting things. A little teaser alert. So let's go quickly through some of these giveaways. We Are So Early section. I will go through this kind of fast because I know that we're late. But here's the thing. It's well worth the wait. Let's talk about it. The first one that I want to introduce you to, and I assume many of you already know about them, because if you are like me and you're earning on chain, or you have stables on chain, you're taking profits and putting them into stables, you might want to actually use those in the real world. And it's actually surprisingly difficult to do that. However, our first feature here is Cast. Big shout out to Rags and Bass and the rest of the team over there. They have made it dead simple to spend your stablecoins at 150 million merchants worldwide. As I talked about payments being an important part of Solana's product market fit, they are doing exactly that. You can spend anywhere, whether you're traveling or not. You can make your Cast card, your Google Pay, Apple Pay, and everything else. You get cash back in the form of Cast points as well. But mostly what I like about it, I can use it anywhere. It just always works. I don't have to worry about calling up my bank and telling them that I'm traveling or anything else like that. If I need to top it up, it's instantaneous, right? Or whatever, it's 400 milliseconds to send over the Solana or the USDC to the Cast wallet. Super simple and very cool. They support multiple different stable coins. And what I really like about them is they have this beautiful, look at this beautiful card. This is not like a mock-up. That is an actual thing that you're seeing rotating around. Physical card. I use Cast literally every day. I have no investment in Cast. I am not an advisor in Cast. I have no financial benefit from them whatsoever, except that I really love the product and I recommend it to everybody. And I recommend it to you as well. This is not a paid shill. This is just a genuine shill. The thing is awesome, and I use it to pay for basically all my software subscriptions and many things. I paid for the cab to get here. I used Cast to pay for. If you also have some stable coins and you also want this sexy physical card because you're at a dinner with your baby mama or something like that, you want to impress her a little bit, you drop this card on the table. It's gonna be a fun night for you. Let me promise you that. If you do want to get this card, I got good news for you. Cast is doing just for the Solana Ecosystem Call faithful, just because they like y'all so much. You can get a free Solana Cast card. That sick branded card. It's $100 normally for that card. They are giving out 1,000 of them to the first 1,000 people that scan this QR code and actually deposit $500 while the campaign is live. So if you have $500 worth of stable somewhere, just take that, pop that over into Cast, and you will be eligible. They'll send you a physical card that is just the coolest shit that you're going to actually see. I'll make this a little bit bigger over here as well. Again, I do this. This is not a paid show. They did not pay for this opportunity. It's a way to kind of get you to realize that there are many crypto products that are actually useful in your day-to-day lives that are not just, meme coins or anything else. Not that there's anything wrong with meme coins, but love to have some actual ability to use these things in the real world. This is how things start to change. I can promise you, once you get used to this, you're never going to go back. Shout out to Cast. Awesome product. Free codes there. Let me see. Do people have a chance to get it in the chat? Cast is the Solana card, is the official card of Manlets everywhere, says Cast. That's right. I'm going to give people just another 10 seconds. Hurry up before this goes off the screen in 5, 4, 3. Drop a little W if you're excited about Cast and doing this giveaway. This is a $100,000 giveaway right here, by the way, which is pretty incredible. And I think that this works basically everywhere. So people should definitely check that out. All right. We'll move on to the next one. I think I put the link into the chat as well. You can scroll up on that if you need to find it. The second team that I wanted to shout out, little We Are So Early segment for, is Kudos. Kudos is yet another team that I love and I use literally every day. They are the world's first rewarding longevity protocol. In fact, if you've ever seen this ring, I wear this ring every single day while I'm awake and while I sleep. This is a Kudos ring. Kudos is kind of like the ring itself is kind of like an Aura ring or these other kind of sleep tracking, or not just sleep tracking, longevity tracking kind of links. But Kudos goes one step further. They have a wearable that allows you to start to collect the data, but they have a protocol and a bunch of other things that happen on the back end to make it even more interesting. So it's a full kind of end-to-end experience from the wearable to the app, which is super easy to use. I use it again every single day. They have a data network where they're able to anonymize, aggregate the data, potentially push that off. And then if there are earnings there, they get distributed to the Kudos token and the Kudos token holders. And they've just launched the new longevity hub. I'm pretty excited to say, actually, I think this is the first or second time it's just coming out. The Pioneer Mint is also available right now. There's only 3,000 spots. It's a pretty selective thing. But if you do a Pioneer Mint on their website right now, you'll get their sport mode ring, lifelong access to the longevity hub, and a bunch of other things that are super cool. Shout out to my guy, Edison, one of my favorite builders in the space as well. They're just doing fantastic things. But the goal here is simple. This is Crypto X Longevity. This is a way to ensure that you actually stay alive. Wouldn't that be so nice? Super cool product. People should definitely check it out. And just for you, they're going to give away 5 rings. Each one of them is worth $350 to people that scan this QR code right now and tweet at Kudos Wellness. So tweet something. It doesn't have to be with the template that's in that text, but if you scan this and then tweet, you will have a chance to win a free ring, which is going to do wonders for your love life. It's going to do wonders for your sleep life. It's going to do wonders for basically all your lives. You want to be the Solana Brian Johnson? This is where it starts, folks. So Kudos, we'll leave this up for another 3 seconds here. 1, 2, 3, and done. And then the final one here in the We Are So Early segment is SNS. Big news, I think just today they're launching a token, if I'm not mistaken. Web3 identity for everyone. SNS has been around, I believe, one of the earliest Solana protocols, if I'm not mistaken. I've been using them since way back in the day. They basically allow you to create a vanity address. So instead of having to remember H76549B3, whatever, you're able to just make it cash.sol, right? Or Srijani.sol or anything else like that. And it gives you an on-chain identity, which people then can target with airdrops. It also just makes it easier for people to send you money, for you to send money around or send tokens and stuff around. SNS just makes it easier to be on-chain. They simplify and unify your on-chain identity in one place. They've registered 270,000 domains, which is pretty crazy. And as of, I think, like right now, like maybe an hour ago, the SNS token is live. Obviously, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy the token, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what the tokenomics are. But I do know that the product is very good. And so if you're watching this right now and you want a free .sol domain, they are giving away 100 of them so that you can actually try it out for yourself. So scan the QR code, fill in the form, and they will reach out to you to register your free domain. Possibly there'll be an airdrop with it. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that the domains are super useful. And so again, they're simplifying the effects. You look at Cast, making it easier, reducing friction for actually spending. You look at Kudos, making it easier for you to understand your own body and your own lifestyle. SNS, making it easier for your on-chain identity to exist. All these Solana products are great, and they are exactly what we want to see in this ecosystem. Products that generate real value for people, which is awesome. Okay, I know we are super late, but I have one more segment that I have to do because this is too good. This is the inaugural Solana Founders Survey. Drop a little W in the chat if you are excited to see these results. I'm going to be honest with you, I am nervous to share these results with you, but let's see what people think. We'll see, or drop an L if you don't care. That's also a possibility. This is going to be a little bit spicy. That is why I am nervous, but Leon and JD and David are with me. As long as Jessica and Monsi are with me and Shiva as well, then I feel a little bit better about going through this all. So my guy Farhaj, by the way, killer Kazakhstan video. People should go check out Forma if you haven't already. All right, so a few notes before we go through this. I want to make this interactive. That's the idea. So I'm going to show you the question, and I'm going to show you some of the top answers, and then you in the chat tell me what you think the right answer actually is. And then we'll reveal the right answer, and it should be a fun little interactive way to end this call here. A little context on the methodology. This is, I believe, the largest ever survey of Solana founders. 101 Solana founders ended up participating. Anybody remember when we had 75 devs? Remember that? Things have changed a little bit since then. 101 Solana founders are here, and these are only founders with mainnet projects. So these are all founders who are actually live on mainnet. Half of them have raised venture. A third of them have tokens, roughly. And one last caveat, I did remove myself from the answers. This is not a scientific survey. People are very biased, and also people are very kind. So thank you to everybody that put my name in for best operator, best this, that, this, the other thing. It's very sweet, but I realized that's very biased. So I took myself out in all of this. With that said, should we get into it? All right, I think the W's are flowing, so people are excited to check this out. The first question in the survey anonymous Solana survey, 101 Solana founders polled. The question was, what project would you join if yours shut down tomorrow? The top 4 answers were, number one, this is not in order, these are randomized. Jito, as we talked about, good guy Jito early on, doing a lot of stuff in the LST space and infrastructure space. Helios, led by a very bald but a very good man named Mert, doing RPCs and improving the dev experience in a bunch of different ways. Jupiter, you already know, the DeFi super app. Or never, which was a very common answer. I would never join another project. Fuck all of them. Mine is the only one that counts. In the chat, please tell me right now, which one do you think it is? I see some Jupiter. I see some Soulflare. I see some Jitos. I see Soulflare getting some nice stuff. Metaplex is in there. 00. Some folks are saying Helios. Helios, of course. It does seem, I would say, that Helios is probably leading along with Jupiter. Well, Ecosystem Call chat, of course, you know what you're talking about. The answer and the winner is Jupiter, baby. You already know. Jupiter, I think, was actually the dominant one. It was about 40% of all respondents said that they would join Jupiter if they could join any company. But a bunch of other companies were mentioned here. So some honorable mentions: Squads, Camino, Squads, which is multi-sig and a full suite of a bunch of other things. Camino, I think most people know. Sphere, shout out to my guy Arnold. How do I do that little gift that he does like this? Solana Mobile, Radium, Tether, and Magic Block all had multiple people who would love to work there as well. So shout out to all those great teams. The second question, who is the best operator on Solana? If you had to co-found a company, who would you co-found it with? The top answers were the Mad Lad himself, Mr. Armani Ferrante, founder of Backpack and Mad Lad's co-founder. Second answer is Mert, co-founder over at Helios. Needs no introduction, the shitposting Shakespeare of Solana. My guy Meow, co-founder of Jupiter and Thirst Trap Extraordinaire poster. For anyone who's seen his Twitter lately. And our guy Buffalo from over at Jito, Lucas, obviously known as a very high-quality operator. Who do people think would be the highest level operator here? Again, from 101 other founders, I'm seeing a lot of Meow. I'm seeing a lot of Armani. I'm seeing a lot of Mert as well. I'm seeing some Bufaloos. Oh, wow. This is split, but I think it's a lot of Meows might be the winner. Solana founders ended up going with Mr. Mert Mumtaz as the #1 operator on Solana. It was a close one. This one was close between all 4 candidates, actually. Honorable mentions, other people that were mentioned multiple times. Lily Liu from the Solana Foundation, without whom this call and super team would not be a thing. So big shout out to Lily. I would definitely agree on that. Alan from over at Pump Fund, Arnold from Sphere, Soju, the homie, Nam from Bonk, Akshay BD, my guy, and Vibu as well, recent addition to the Jupiter team. So those are some of the best operators on Solana. Before we get to the spicy one, let's do one more friendly one. What is the most underrated project on Solana, you think? The top 4 answers were Squads, excellent multi-sig, also creators of the Fuse wallet, Loopscale, which is a newer DeFi protocol that is using a new kind of order book model for DeFi borrow lend, which is actually very cool and innovative. Camino, the largest borrow lend protocol, and they have many other things, meta aggregation swap and some other features built in there. And Meteora was also a top 4 answer here, builder of the best tech for launchpads and liquidity pools and LPs. Chat, what do we think? Which one of these is the most underrated? Camino, I'm seeing Camino. I'm seeing a lot of Camino, a little bit of Loopscale. Squads, solid. Some people are saying answers that are on here. Meteora getting some love, but a lot of people saying Camino, and let me tell you, those people are right. It is, in fact, the Camino Finance boys most underrated, which is really saying something because they are a well-known project. But they are not there. I see ZK's, my guy Carlos said, how are you not mentioned Cash? I was actually mentioned in the top operators. I was #2, but I took myself out of contention. Other honorable mentions that got multiple votes as underrated. Time.fun, shout out to my guy Cause and Pedro on that. I'm on Time.fun as well. Asgard, which gives you DeFi superpowers. Press through and deep in the boys. Send AI from Irfan and Yash. And then Lulo as well, Lulo Finance, which gets you the best rates on your stable coins. All of these are projects worth checking out. Now we get into the spicy one, which is what is the most overrated project on Solana? Oh boy, I regret asking this question, if I'm being honest here. We are, I'm not even going to give the other options because I don't want to put anybody down on this. But the answer from 101 Solana founders that were surveyed here, the most overrated project on Solana is Pump.fun, actually. I was surprised to see this. I'm not going to lie. I would say Pump.fun, personally, underrated. I think they built an incredible business. They're clearly tapped into the culture. They're clearly very good at product. I think very highly of them, actually. I would consider them underrated, but I'm not the only person in the survey. They were rated as the most overrated protocol on here. People in the chat seem to agree, but this is the voice of Solana founders. So this is not my voice. Next question: what is the best VC firm? I know we got a lot of builders who watch this and who are potentially looking to raise. So I want to ask this question so that from other Solana founders, who would you actually want to raise from? The top 4 were Big Brain Holdings. Shout out to my guy, Soul Big Brain, awesome dude. Sixth Man Ventures, Judas and Carl, also very well known in the space. Alliance DAO, Imran and QW. And Multicoin Capital. What do people think? What was the best VC firm from 101 different Solana founders that were surveyed? Sixth Man, let's see, Alliance, Sixth Man, Alliance and Sixth Man, Alliance and Sixth Man. A little bit of Big Brain Holdings here and there. Big Brain, ooh. Yeah, actually, this is interesting. The most people in this are not going to get it right. The answer pretty overwhelmingly was my answer as well, actually. Multicoin Capital was the best VC firm by Solana founders. And I would agree. I think that those guys are pretty dramatically ahead of the curve a lot of the time. So shout out to Kyle, Shar, my boy Vishal, and many others, Cheyenne over there, some of the best in the game. So from 101 Solana founders, they are the ones that people would most want. Paradigm and Rockaway X, by the way, also got a bunch of mentions. So shout out to both of those. My guy Victor over at Rockaway X, really sharp on the DeFi side. That takes us to another spicy one, and another one I feel bad about, which is what is the worst VC firm? 101 Solana founders were asked. The 4 top vote getters were Delphi. Multicoin, which was the most loved, is also in the most hated. It's always hard to tell how much of this is like, oh, they passed on us or something else like that. Hack VC. And I swear this was a common response, top 4 common response. All VCs are terrible. Coliseum also great, wasn't in there enough, in my opinion. Which of these is the worst VC? Let's see. Ray says Delphi. All VCs are terrible. Yeah, I think people like all VCs. Delphi, Multicoin, all VCs, all Delphi. Wow, a lot of the chat is much more angry about Delphi than I would have guessed. I like those guys as well. The answer for the worst VC firm, according to not me, but to 101 Solana founders anonymously surveyed, was Hack VC. They were the number 1. Again, folks, take this all with a grain of salt. As you can tell, I'm trying to hedge because I feel very bad about how spicy these are. Maybe they were passed over or something else like that. It's hard to know exactly. This is not a scientific survey sample. You might have a great example or a great experience with Hack, even if some of these other folks did not. So Hack VC was the one over there. Another very fun one. What is the dumbest trend on Solana? Let's see, 4 answers. The first one is AI agents. Second one was celebrity meme coins. Third one was racist meme coins. And the fourth one was launchpads. And I will say, by the way, that none of these were, every single answer on this survey was open choice. It was not like multiple choice. Everyone got to free write whatever they wanted into there. So is it AI agents, celebrity meme coins, racist meme coins, or launchpads? What do we think, chat? What is the worst trend? Racist meme coins. I love to see all the anti-racists in the chat. That is good to see. I appreciate that. I think the answer might have been different. Oh, so a lot of people hate celebrity meme coins too, which is interesting. A few launchpads. I'll tell you what, folks, the founders do not agree with you. Their overwhelming number 1 answer, AI agents as the dumbest trend on Solana. 101 Solana founders said that is the dumb one. Very interesting to see. I don't know. There were some honorable mentions here. Governance tokens got a few votes. SPM L2s and dunking on ETH was one of the dumbest trends right now. And that one I really liked, actually, because I do think that's kind of dumb. Again, this was not multiple choice. I think if you did multiple choice, probably racist meme coins would have won, because I can't imagine anyone supports racism. But yeah, that is the truth. That was the dumbest trend. A few more questions here. What is the sexiest Solana project? The best designed, the best looking one. Jito, Jupiter, Pump.Fun, and Phantom were the top 4 answers. Pump.Fun was in there for real, which I think is pretty cool. The answer on this one, oh, and Sanctum as well. Shout out to Sanctum. Got a bunch of different votes for Sanctum. It's a beautiful app, I must say. The sexiest Solana project, it was in fact Jupiter. I don't want to dwell on that point, but I'm obviously biased. I think Jupiter is pretty great as well, but other folks agree with me. Here's a very fun one. Who has the biggest technical brain on Solana? John Wong, who you just heard from. Dean M. Little, my guy. I'm just going to put that out there. Siong, also my guy. Two of these guys do Jupiter stuff. Siong, co-founder of Jupiter. Dean, co-founder of Zeus Network, of Turbine, and does a lot of cryptography stuff. And then Mert as the fourth answer. And then Toli, excuse me, as the fifth answer. Who has the biggest brain on Solana? I see Dean hands down in the chat. Dean Supreme. A lot of folks like Dean. A lot of folks like Mert as well. All five of these guys are just giga brains, let me just tell you. But these were the 5 top answers. And the answer is, I think in the chat probably is the chat seems pretty evenly divided between like Mert, Dean, Siong, John Wang, and everybody else. Biggest technical brain? It was in fact Toli. Toli was the winner of this. Pretty close, actually. Him and Dean were only, I think, 1 or 2 votes separated. Pretty good. Also, honorable mentions, Mert, we actually talked about. Trent from over at Anza got mentioned a bunch. And then Jerry from Ellipsis Labs also got mentioned a bunch. So Toli, biggest technical brain. He retains the crown for right now, but we'll see what Dean and the rest are able to do after that. Another fun one. What is the most underrated Twitter account? Gwart, OX Balloon Lover, Alessandro, or Donald Trump? These were the 4 top answers in this. And I'll be honest with you, I don't actually follow 2 of these people. So this was good, as like these are genuinely underrated because I don't even know about them, or I was not already following them. The answer is, just for the sake of time, we'll move on. Yeah, I got somebody said cash in the chat. Yeah, this also was another one I came up on. The answer is Alessandro. I actually followed Alessandro after I saw this survey results. I encourage you to do so already. I've been very impressed by the content that I've seen. So shout out to Alessandro, the most underrated Twitter account according to 101 Solana founders. Who is the best content creator on Solana? This is another fun one. Mert. I like that he's best operator and best content creator. Ashen, our guy. My boy Soul Jakey. Or Fabiano with the 4 top. Chat, who do we think it was here? Who is the top content creator on Solana? I see some folks saying Jesse. I see a lot of things. People saying Mert. I see Anson was not on there. Well, I'll tell you what the founders like. The chat and the founders have a little, but yeah, Uplink Mafia is true, Scarlett. Ashton and Fabiano both kind of partially came up with Jupiter at some point through Uplink. Fabiano, Vibu, somebody says, Forma, they've been doing great content, but the correct answer here is Jakey was the #1 voted content creator on Solana by Solana founders. Bunch of honorable mentions here. Dr. PP, DJ and Poet, who does awesome work on Drip and elsewhere. Simon from the Soul Brothers podcast with Eno. Kevin, my boy from When Shift Happens, who I really like. And Jussie, another part of the Uplink Mafia previously. Okay, I think we have one or two more questions here. Which company is the best Twitter intern? Is it Solana itself? Is it Phantom? Is it Jupiter? Or is it Polymarket? Those were the top 4 answers. What do we think, Chad? Which one of these is the best Twitter intern? Soulflare. I feel like Barnabas just keeps saying Soulflare for a bunch of these. Solana, Phantom, Solana. Jupiter getting a few votes, but it looks like mostly Phantom. Empress, the 9-year-old intern. Yeah, that's fair enough. The correct answer, according to the founders here, was actually overwhelmingly Phantom with the best social game. That was my vote as well, quite honestly. I think they do amazing work over there. And I believe this is the last one. Which project has the best community on Solana? The options were Super Team, came up a bunch, not surprisingly. Bonk came up a bunch. Monkey DAO, Monkeys on Top, came up a bunch. And Jupiter came up a bunch. What do we think? What is the best community? I mean, I hope the chat goes towards Super Team, given that I think this is a pretty Super Team pilled audience. But then again, we have 17,500 viewers right now. So maybe there's some other folks. I also see a bunch of monkeys. Return to monkeys, Super Team, Monkey, Super Team. Well, the answer, according to the Solana founders, was in fact Jupiter as the largest. So from a founder perspective, they look at the Jupiter community and say that that's #1 in their book. Oh, sorry, there's one last one. We'll end on a little bit of a spicy one as well. What is the most overrated crypto conference or event? The answer, I guess we don't have 4 options here. The 4 options were, if I'm not mistaken, Token 2049, NFT NYC, ETH Denver, and Consensus. So of those, which is the worst event or most overrated crypto conference or event? Does anybody want to put a guess? People are just saying Super Team. People are not happy with the founders. We should do a community survey. Actually, it might be fun to do a Solana community member survey on the other side of this. But who all do we have? I'm seeing Super Team. I'm seeing ETH Denver. I'm seeing a lot of ETH Denver, a lot of Token 2049, Summit. Whichever conference has founders doing a freestyle rap, says my guy Stash. Also, probably not the best one. Well, the answer was, by a landslide, Token 2049. I think it was like 60% or something like that, or 55% of all people said Token 2049. I would say most underrated, it's got to be Aggregate NYC. Alley Cat is right on that one. But that is the end of the Solana Anonymous Founder Survey. What do you think, Chad? Was that fun? Was that too spicy? Am I going to get in trouble for this afterwards? Drop a little W if you enjoyed it. Maybe we can make this an annual thing and kind of see how trends change over time. Drop a little L if you did not like it because you think that the founders are wrong. Again, founder not always going to be the same as the community whim over here. Shout out to Super Team Brazil. Shout out to everybody. No friends left. Okay, good. There's some W's here, so I didn't just burn all my friendships for no reason. That's good to hear. My spice tolerance is up now. Yeah, if Lily's watching this, let her know that my spice tolerance has improved. Blacklist the founders who didn't vote for Super Team. Says it says my guy Harry, Super Team Nigeria co-lead. All right. Well, folks, we're well over as I knew we would be. I apologize for all the tech difficulties early on, but we are going to call it there. We're back with a little QR code. You can scan this, attach your Discord or your X, and you will receive this beautiful POAP. Again, this whole call here was meant to kind of celebrate, get people excited for Accelerate, the conference that's happening in New York next week. Monday and Tuesday is Scale or Die. The Developer Focus Conference Thursday and Friday is going to be Ship or Die. Highly encourage you all to come out. I will be there. I'm speaking on day one, I'm speaking on Thursday, whenever it is. And I'll be around, and I would love to meet all of you. So if you are there and you do see me and you enjoy this call, please do come up and say hello. It is like my literal favorite thing about the conferences is getting to meet all the community members out there. But with that said, we are so deliriously late. Let me just say thank you, everybody, for coming. Please do go follow Super Team. Go join your local Super Team. And teamwork makes the dream work. Big shout out to Srijani, who stepped in at the last minute to help here. And, of course, Eno for coming on and being our global correspondent there. He is the best. I will say one last thing here, folks. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. I appreciate you all for coming out. I missed you. This was a lot of fun. I don't know if we're going to do this next month or not. We'll kind of see where things go. But this was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks for sticking around for the whole thing. Bye, everybody. Bye. This was a lot of fun.